This is a special edition of the Cultural Connections podcast, the 2020 election. Join us this evening as we digest the election results, analyze the data, and make some bold predictions. This is the Cultural Connections podcast, 2020 election edition.
And good evening, everybody. It's Wednesday, November 4th, 2020. I'm Brian Ives, the producer of the Cultural Connections podcast. We're coming back on here because we are still talking about the 2020 election. There is still a lot to talk about. This race has gotten very contentious over the past 24 hours. Let's start with the facts of what we do know. And some of this you may remember I shared with you last night, and I'm going to breeze through a lot of the information I'm about to show you here. Let's start off with the information that I'm about to show you here. So what we're still watching here for, as I mentioned before, is Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, and Georgia. We can officially say, and I'll get into this in a little bit, that we can officially project that Joe Biden will be taking the states of Michigan and Wisconsin, and I am now going on the limb of projecting Arizona as well. So I do think I am making those projections, and I'll get into more information in just a minute. I'm going to bypass the national polls because I did talk about that last night. I think we don't need to go into that again. As of last night, this was the road to 270 last night of what we have looked at. So I'm going to move over here with my cursor, and I'm live here on, just so everyone understands, for those watching, please interact with me. I have access right now. I'm looking at Facebook here on my phone, but if you're watching this on YouTube, please go ahead and comment over on YouTube, and I'll do my best to respond to comments. Unfortunately, because I only have one other device here with me, my phone, I'm only able to see one social media platform at a time. So right now I'm looking at Facebook, but I do assure you I'm going to try my best to alternate between Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, looking at that. So please interact on all three. Right now, again, I am on Facebook looking at our Facebook page, and I'll let you know when I'm looking at another platform so you know. So let's start here with looking at this map here. As of right now, it is, yes, clear that Joe Biden is leading in Arizona. I think we're going to hear soon a major projection that Joe Biden will take Arizona. That basically puts it that for Joe Biden, he has to win one more state in order to win the election. I also just want to point out, I know many of you may have seen that we were live on Instagram most of the day. I decided I think it was more worth it to go on live right now because there is so much going on that I think all of our platforms, obviously, unfortunately, exception for Instagram, will get to see this update that I'm bringing to you. So that's why we wanted to come on here. So only thing, as I was saying here, is that Joe Biden, technically, in my opinion, has won Arizona. And I think it's a very strong chance here that Joe Biden has won Arizona. I think and I'm going to get into those figures in just a minute after we go through this. In Nevada, right now, Joe Biden is leading in Nevada. And again, I'm going to get into all of these numbers in a minute. Joe Biden, as I already have said, has won Michigan and Wisconsin. In the state of, has won, in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Michigan. It's been a long day, folks, and a long night the past 24 hours. We also are aware that President Trump's team has asked for a recount in the state of Wisconsin. In my own personal opinion here, I don't think that's going to change much of the result. We'll have to watch that closely. So that's what we're looking at. Now, let's just go into what we do know for the main projections, and we can project here that obviously Joe Biden has won Massachusetts. We can project that Joe Biden has won Maryland. He has won the state of Maine. We can project that Joe Biden has won Vermont. We can project that Joe Biden has won Virginia. We can project that Joe Biden has won New York. We can project that Joe Biden has won New Jersey. We can project that Joe Biden has won Delaware. We can project that Joe Biden has won Washington, D.C. We can project that Donald Trump has won Oklahoma. We can project that Donald Trump has won Kentucky. We can project that Donald Trump has won Arkansas. We can project that Donald Trump has won Mississippi. We can project that Donald Trump has won Louisiana. We can project that Donald Trump has won Alabama. We can project that Donald Trump has won Wyoming. We can project that Donald Trump has won North Dakota. And we can project that Donald Trump has won South Dakota. We can project that should say West Virginia, not West. We can project that Donald Trump is, oh, there it is, what has won West Virginia. We can project that Donald Trump has won Iowa. We can project that Donald Trump has won Utah. We can project that Donald Trump has won Nebraska. We can also now tell you the states, these are a little inaccurate here, New Hampshire. We can project that Vice President Biden has won New Hampshire. Pennsylvania is still too close to call. North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, we can predict that Donald Trump has won that race. Arizona, I am going on the limb and predicting, along with Fox News and the Associated Press, that Joe Biden has won the state of Arizona. And we can predict that Donald Trump will win the state of Texas. And we can also predict that Donald Trump will win the state of Ohio. We can also make the projection that Vice President Biden will take the state of Illinois. We can also project that Vice President Biden will take the state of Minnesota. We can also project that Vice President Biden will take the state of Colorado, the states of New Mexico, the state of Oregon, Washington State, the state of Hawaii, which is in there twice, California, and we will have obviously more results to come of what is next. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a moment so I can pull up the next variety of information that I have for you to look at. And that is looking here now real time at the map to 270. And I'm going to now share my screen so you can see what I am looking at momentarily. Give me a second and I'll bring this up here. Looking at this race to 270, and I think this is what I wanted. Okay, and it is not what I wanted. It says my computer is not wanting to share the right information. This is what okay, now you're seeing my screen, hopefully. So this is what the current map looks like. This is without the Associated Press and Fox News call on Arizona. But again, I am pretty confident to tell you, I believe in the fact that Joe Biden is going to take the state of Arizona. So let's start with that, and then we'll work our way around. As of right now, with 84.7% of the vote in, Joe Biden has a significant lead still over President Trump with 1,411,235 votes to President Trump's 1,318,219 votes. So there's a good size space between the two candidates there, between the two of them. And I think it's safe to say here, and I think anytime now we should probably within the next few hours here start hearing official calls for Joe Biden winning the state of Arizona. As for Nevada, let's go over to Nevada right now. This is another very, very close race. But as of right now, as it looks, Joe Biden is leading in Arizona, in Nevada, with 588,252 votes to Donald Trump's 580,602 votes. This is 605 votes. This is a very close race. But again, right now, what we're looking at is the mail-in votes. That's what's coming in now. And I do believe that this is a predominantly Democratic state. If Joe Biden wins, but if it is confirmed that Joe Biden has won Arizona, and I think he has, and we see him win this state here of Nevada, that will put him over 270, giving him as the president-elect. Let's keep looking, though, at these races because there's still more left to decide here. The state of Georgia, for example, and this is a race that has been changing ever so dramatically throughout the day today. We are watching as the remaining votes, and I'm going to go to another source here in just a minute to give you more of a general idea so you can see the state itself of what's left and remaining and what votes are still out there. There's 95.9% of the vote in. And I did the math earlier, and I'm going to do the math on our Instagram live for those of you who caught that. And I can tell you that I do believe I wouldn't be surprised watching this with the 95.9% of the vote in. And I think that makes it roughly about, and I'm going to do my math. I'm going to pull up my calculator on here. Give me a moment. Here it is. I have my calculator up here on the screen, and I want you to see this. I hope you can see this too on your screen. And I am going to, I'm going to put up this calculator. You know what? Let me reshare so you can actually just see my calculator right now on the screen here. So we are looking at the state of Georgia right now. The state of Georgia right now has Donald Trump with 2,404,111. Okay, we're going to subtract out of that 2,345,578, which is what Joe Biden has. And this is what the number comes to, 58,533. As I have said to you, and I continue to say, the remaining votes that are left there are still over 300,000 votes that are remaining out there, assuming that Joe Biden can, I mean, this is a probability, I think, is more higher that Joe Biden could possibly also carry the state of Georgia. We're going to really closely monitor that information as well. So stay with us as we really closely monitor the state of Georgia. I'm going to go back to sharing you with my presidential map here, which is on this one. So let's see here. We're going to go back here looking at the main map, and let's go over to Pennsylvania, another state that we're really closely watching. And this is a state right now where President Trump is leading with a sizable margin, but there are over 1 million votes remaining to be casted. So once again, let's do the math here. If there's 1 million votes remaining to be cast, I'm gonna do some math here for you again. I'm gonna show up my calculator on your screen, and I just lost what I was looking at here, so bear with me for a moment. Hold on, we're gonna go back to sharing the election page here that I was looking at. And then I'm going to bring in the calculator like I did before. So, okay, here we go. This will make my life a little easier. Now I can show you the calculator. So, we're going to, again, take President Trump's 3,124,716 votes, minus that out by 2,816,623. That leaves you with 308,093 votes. Again, there's a very strong possibility with a lot of the votes that remain to be cast in Pennsylvania that Joe Biden could take the state of Pennsylvania as well. It is a very strong possibility. Some of the news that we do know at this hour, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I can just give you information of what I know here for the moment here, and that is again indicating that there is news out there on that President Trump's team has requested a recount in the states of Pennsylvania. I'm sorry, in the states of Wisconsin, excuse me, that indicate that they'd like a recount. It's a little early and premature on that right now, but I do think this is a very strong possibility that Biden will that recount will happen, but I think it's still very strong to say that Joe Biden is going to take the state of Pennsylvania possibly too. I'm now going to switch over right now. As I told you, we're live on 3 platforms. We're live here on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. In order for me to see what's going on, I need to switch between the 3 social media networks that are live on. So I am going to switch over now to Twitter. To our Twitter users that are watching right now, I'm going over to see what if you have any comments right now on our live video. And bear with me a minute while I pull that up. Okay. So I am now looking at Twitter here, and I'm told we have at least, okay. So I'm going to watch Twitter for the next 15 minutes or so, and then I'm going to jump to YouTube. So if you're on Twitter with me, let me know by commenting in the comments below and interact with me. So let's continue on with this here. Again, as I just said, with Pennsylvania, that's something very close to watch with over 1 million votes that remain outstanding. What we do know here is that, and I'm going to get out of this here now because I have another page here open, and I'm going to go over to NBC and another outlet here, and we're being told now that there's roughly about 300, let me refresh this page. So there's now still 330,384 votes remaining still to be counted in Georgia, with 94% of the vote in. And again, Biden is continuing to gain more votes. There is a strong possibility there that Joe Biden could take the state of Georgia. We'll watch that very, very closely right now. Let's go back to the bigger picture right now, and I want to show you again the state of Pennsylvania. I'm going to talk about the state of Pennsylvania right now, where again we're watching as Vice President Biden's lead is extended in Pennsylvania. And again, we wouldn't be surprised with, again, the fact that in Pennsylvania, there are 1,105,206 votes remaining in Pennsylvania. In Pennsylvania, we're told by authorities in Pennsylvania, election authorities in Pennsylvania, that they will have all of the votes casted and counted for by Friday. So by Friday, we should have an official result, an unofficial result, at least by by Friday in Pennsylvania. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that. But again, Biden is closing in on that race. Let's go back here to looking at, again, the remaining ones here. Arizona right now continues to, with 432,000 votes remaining. Let's see here if I do the math here, and I'm going to do the math here for you. So we have President Trump has 1,318,219 votes right now. If we add the remaining 432,000 votes, does he have enough to get over Joe Biden? I think the answer to that is probably a yes. So hold on, let me actually do this here. Hold on a moment. I'm going to take 1318, 219, 219, and I'm going to minus the, we're going to, shoot. Let's clear that out. Sorry, I'm just not thinking here. 1318 minus 219 plus 219 plus 1318. Trust me, it's been a long day here, folks. 318 219 plus, okay, the remaining 432,476. So that gets you to that would get gets President Trump and up to one. So that would bring Trump up ahead of Biden in the state of Pennsylvania, the state of Georgia, the state of, oh my God, the state of Arizona. But I think that's, at this time, I think that's very unlikely given what we're looking at right now with these Democratic thresholds. Biden is continuing with the vote to hold a steady lead in Apache County with 62.7% of the vote in. Biden is leading with a significant lead over President Trump. In Coconino County, Vice President Biden is also leading with a very significant lead over President Trump with 85% of the vote in. Around the Phoenix area, which is Maricopa County, Vice President Biden is leading again with a sizable lead, not a huge lead, but a sizable lead of enough votes right now at 85% of the vote in. And in the Pima County, where Tucson, Arizona is located, Vice President Biden has a very strong lead there too right now with around 89% of the vote in. So I think as we continue to watch this, and I'm looking at other areas here too around Arizona, I think it's a very strong chance here. And even right now, looking here, there's areas where 75% of the vote is in, like in Cochise County, Arizona. That is east of Tucson. It is clear that is a very close area. Watching, we have still many votes to be counted, and Joe Biden could take that area, that county too. We'll have to watch that very closely as well. So that's Arizona. Now, let's go back and talk about Nevada for a second. And again, I'll share my screen again for you in a few minutes. I'm not able to go back here. Here we go. Here we go. Let's talk about Nevada for a moment. Nevada, again, at this time, right now, Joe Biden continues to maintain his lead. One of the biggest areas right now is in Clark County, where Las Vegas is. That's a big county. Joe Biden has a significant lead in that area. He continues to build on that lead. It is very likely, again, that he will carry the state of Nevada, which will help him significantly get to closing in on being the next president of the United States. With 89% of the vote in Washoe County, Nevada, Joe Biden, again, with a pretty sizable lead in those areas. The rest of the state is considered predominantly Republican, but these are smaller counties. They do not have as many people in them. So that's important to understand. They're smaller counties. That's why that there's not as, that's why they, and they're more, so we're not, those do not play much of a factor for Trump winning that. Again, 86% of the vote in now, 202,000 votes remain in Nevada. And I think we're going to, by tomorrow morning at the latest, we should see Nevada being called for and have an official projection. I think I'm going to go on the limb there, as I just said, and tell you that Joe Biden has a significant chance. And we're also learning here, sources close to the White House have said that it is becoming apparent that GOP officials are beginning to lose patience with some of President Trump's behavior, as he basically is claiming fraud is robbing him of the presidency. We're learning this because a lot of the starch Republicans out there earlier today have said that after Trump has made these baseless claims that there are these secret ballots that in Michigan that are being all of a sudden dumped, that are dumped secret ballots in Michigan that are now Democrat ballots. These are substantial claims that do not mean anything at this moment and really don't mean anything. And we are getting very close to 270 right now for Joe Biden. And I think really from what we're starting to see is I don't see, really looking at these numbers and the way things are moving in the projection and the way we're seeing things move forward, it's going to be a challenge for Trump to, there's no saying that Trump can't win, but it's going to be a difficult path forward here right now. And that's something we're really, really watching here very closely. Again, we're learning that there's a lot of protesting going on in front of the White House right now, we're being told. And we are really watching this very, very closely here. And I'm just continuing to look at the map here in different states. And again, right now, as of 5:48 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is the time that we're on here in the Boston area, we're watching a very much so Joe Biden, who is really closing in very close now in Georgia on President Trump. I wouldn't be surprised within the next hour if Joe Biden, Vice President Biden, has taken a lead over President Trump. That really wouldn't surprise me. Again, I can't emphasize enough what I'm looking at here is that the rest of the votes that are coming in are those mail-in ballots and early votes. And that's where the Democrats have their strong threshold right now. And that's playing a huge factor. Another very interesting thing is watching how close the race is getting in North Carolina. I honestly didn't expect this. And I still think that Joe Biden will likely take the state of North Carolina, but I'm not going to say no. I'm too cautious to give a projection to this because the state could easily go either way. But right now, Joe Biden is also closing in very closely on the state of North Carolina. So it's very possible that these remaining states, exception for Alaska, could go to Joe Biden. It's very possible. It's, again, premature for me to say this, but looking at the numbers and the way the numbers are coming in and the way the data is showing us with it coming in is giving us this indication that Joe Biden has a very strong chance at taking these states too. Let's go back here, and I'm gonna show you this. This is through. I'm gonna share my screen now, so you can see here all the different data that I'm looking at instead of looking at me, because I don't think that's going to help you very much. This is ABC News' information that I'm looking at right now on my screen here, and I just want to show you. Oops, let me get this off here. Here's Arizona again, for example, and Joe Biden's lead has extended here in Arizona. I again have the feeling we're going to be watching this race come to an announcement very soon, within the next hour or so, is my guess, or in the next few hours, to say the least. Again, you're looking courtesy of ABC News. We're looking over at their projection map. In Nevada, the results, the race is very tight over there still, but Joe Biden remains to hold a steady lead at this point in time. And again, that is because we're watching here in 84% of Clark County, which is where Las Vegas is. Joe Biden is maintaining that strong threshold lead in Las Vegas. And then in another big area here of Nevada, Joe Biden is also maintaining a steady lead in this area too. The rest of the state, as I said to you before, is a red state, is Republican based. So looking at this, and this is this is just to show you, these are small counties, so they really don't mean much, and they're not going to change the outcome of the state. The two big ones, that's why we're watching Washoe County and Clark County. And once those fully get in, I think we can call the state. But right now, if we are to go with what it is as of right now, it's favored in the end of Joe Biden. So we're going to watch that very closely. let's take a look at the bigger picture here, and let's go back over to Pennsylvania here right now. Pennsylvania, and then another state that we're really closely watching, and we're seeing some counties turn to blue, from red to blue, and flipping. And that is because, again, we're seeing those mail-in votes come through, and that is a big part to this. So right now I'm showing you the southern part of Pennsylvania. And again, you're seeing where it's 88% of the vote in Chester County, Pennsylvania, Joe Biden with a sizable lead. Same thing in Montgomery County, same thing in Philadelphia County, same thing in Delaware County, out to the western part of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Center County, Joe Biden has a sizable lead over there right now. In the far western part of the state of Pennsylvania, Joe Biden has a sizable lead over there. Let's look at some of these Republican areas. I'm just going to scan through. Some of these are just really small counties that don't hold that much matter, so it's not going to change much. And I'm just going through, and I really don't see much that's going to change these Republican counties. But these are also very small. Okay, here's one, for example, that could possibly change with 95% of the vote in. It's a little far, 58% to 41%. I mean, so there are some that are closer than others. Here's another one, 50. This is a very close one. But Berks County, with 93% of the vote in, this could still possibly go either way. Let's see here if I can pull up Berks County to be exact. Yeah, so this could possibly go either way too. Again, as I look at this, there isn't much here on this that would indicate otherwise. I think, again, there is still the strong threshold that Biden could take the state of Pennsylvania. It's something we're going to watch closely. Let's go over to North Carolina right now, and we'll examine North Carolina right now. Looking at North Carolina, there's definitely a lot more blue on this map than there was as of last night, with 99% of the vote in Pitt County. Joe Biden has a strong lead over President Trump, almost a 9-point lead. 9-point lead for Biden, 10-point lead for Biden in Washington County, North Carolina. Bertie County, same thing. I mean, a huge lead there. I mean, there are some areas that are very close still, and there are some. I mean, here you go, another county with 95% of the vote in Lenoir County. 52% of the vote for President Trump, 48% of the vote is for Biden. And right now, looking at this right now on this map, this is still with 95% of the vote. This can change too. This could be another district that flips from red to blue. It's something really to be close to watching, because I think, again, as I've said, the remaining votes out there are mail-in votes and early voting, and that was a big win for the Biden campaign. Moving down south again to Georgia. Excuse me. My mouth is getting dry from all this talking that I've been doing all day. Again, as we look here in Georgia, specifically, President Trump continues to maintain a very slim lead with 94% of the vote in. But look at all of a sudden, all of this blue that's here now. This was not here 24 hours ago, folks. This was red. The only main area that we saw blue was this area in the Atlanta area. We're now watching areas that were blue, were red, go to blue in Georgia, and that's huge. And I'm looking here, and we have still a ton more votes to count here in Georgia. And again, I think it is a strong possibility that Joe Biden could take the state of Georgia with him as well. I'm going to jump back to Facebook here, and then I will jump on YouTube too in a moment, because I'm going to jump actually over to YouTube. So if you are a viewer of ours watching on YouTube, I'll be able to know. Bear with me for just a minute, so stand by here. We'll take a quick moment here for me to switch over to the right account, so I can see, again, to our viewers that are watching. Here we go. If you are watching on YouTube, I'm able to see you now. So if you have comments and you're watching live on YouTube, I am now seeing this. So please feel free to comment below. If you're watching on YouTube, I can see you. I can see your comments now coming in, and I'm available to seeing that. And again, if you have questions, please feel free to comment below with your questions, and I'll answer them my best that I can here live. But again, this is Georgia for you, and I think we're really getting close into finalizing up this race. And Alaska, I'm just going to show this to you because I think it's important. I don't know why I think we're having some reporting issues with the state of Alaska right now, because their map is not coming out the way it definitely should. But with the 56% of the vote, and President Trump is leading in Arizona, in Alaska, and I think it's safe to say that President Trump will take the state of Alaska. With him. And what I'm going to do is, just so our Instagram followers know that we are live here on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, bear with me for a moment. I'm going to do start an Instagram live here on my phone, just to let our Instagram followers know. This is called doing double duty here, folks. So I'm going to just jump onto Instagram for a moment to let our followers know on Instagram that we are also live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. So here goes nothing. Bear with me. Hello to our Instagram followers. Brian Ives here with Cultural Connections. We are live right now, by the way, on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. For those of you that would be interested in hearing the latest on the up-to-date election results, I just wanted to jump on here briefly for a minute so to let you know. Please go over to Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube right now. You're probably, if you are switching over, you are probably going to hear what I'm saying. So we are live right now on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and I'm going to stay on here on Instagram too. It just means that I'm not going to be able to see feedback coming through on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube. So let's get back here to the results of what we're talking about. To our Instagram followers that are just coming in and joining us, thank you. And let's start here again. We've been talking all about the results. Again, what we're seeing right now, and I want to just go back here for a minute to our Instagram followers, that we can project officially that Joe Biden has won the states of Michigan and Wisconsin. And I am cautiously optimistic to say that I think I'm going to make the projection along with the Associated Press and the state of in the state and Fox News as well, who have projected that the state of Georgia, the state of Arizona, has gone to Joe Biden as well. So I think it's safe to say that. What I'm gonna try to do here as well, so you can also see my screen here, Instagram followers, is that I am going to turn my camera around. Bear with me for a moment, and we'll see how well this works. Yes, I know that. Okay. So you are slowly somewhat seeing my screen here. I'm going to do my best to do this here. And I'm going to start here with Arizona, because you can see this live here on my screen. Where, again, for those of our Instagram followers, this is the ABC News website here that we're looking at as our source right now, courtesy of them. As you can see here, again, Vice President. Oh, I'm looking at a county here. I'm sorry about that. I'm throwing myself off here. Vice President Biden is still continuing to lead in the state of Arizona with 86% of the vote. And I really do think it's safe to say that Joe Biden has won this state. But again, we're waiting on for this officially to be called. There's all big blue areas now in this state. And these are big counties that Biden has officially really taken. So I think we're going to officially, within the next hour or so, hear this state get called. As for Nevada, let's go over to Nevada right now. In Nevada right now, again, I said this before here to our followers here on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, to our followers here on Instagram. We are looking at a state right now where you think, probably looking at this, there's more red on the state than there's blue. How is Biden going to take this state? The answer to this is all of the red are small counties here. These are not big counties that count as much. The big counties in Las Vegas, in Nevada, is the Las Vegas County area of Clark County, and the area of Washoe County in western Nevada. Those counties are big. Those are big populated counties, and that's where a lot of the vote is coming in. With 89% of the vote in right now in Washoe County, Biden has a sizable lead. Same thing in Clark County, in where Joe Biden is also holding a comfortable lead. So I think, looking at this, it is safe to say that Joe Biden could possibly take the state of Nevada. Now, what happens here if Joe Biden takes the state of Nevada and the state of Arizona that I just mentioned? Okay, well, let's go back here, and I'm going to show you another way that I do this. So bear with me for a minute. I'm going to go and show you my real map here. They have it shown here that Joe Biden has won the state of Arizona on this 270towin.com. They also show us that on this website, that Joe Biden has won the state of Nevada. What is interesting here is that they show the 16 votes that are unaccounted for in Georgia. And what I am seeing here, which is interesting, is that they have it wrong here. So they have Michigan under the Trump column. I'm going to take out Nevada for a moment and put Nevada out of play because this is what I'm trying to show you. So Nevada, we know that Michigan officially went we know that Michigan is here, went for Biden, has been called for Biden. We know Wisconsin has been called for Biden, even though in Wisconsin there is a recount going on at this time. Let's take a moment here and say that we have these two states remaining at the moment, Nevada and actually let's take out the playing and the putting in toss up the state of Pennsylvania. If Joe Biden wins Nevada, let's say, he gets to 270 right there. That's all he needs right now. If he does not, and it goes to Trump, that puts Trump at 196. He would need to win the states of Pennsylvania and the states of Georgia in order to get to 270. He needs both Pennsylvania and Georgia to win. And right now, from what we're looking at, the numbers just don't add up to that. And it shows a pretty unlikely scenario that would happen. But again, we can't say anything yet. It's still very early watching this. And right now, if I'm to do this in a probable way here, I think as we look at this, that it is almost a safe bet here. That Joe Biden will take the state of Nevada with him. That's why I have it in the light blue. I think it's also safe to say that Joe Biden will take the state, and that's why I'm putting it in light blue, the states of Georgia, and I think even possibly the state of Pennsylvania, which would put Joe Biden at 306 electoral college votes to President Trump's 232, which I think actually, if I'm not mistaken, I want to see if I can pull up the 2016 election map, and I'm going to try to do that in a minute here for you. But this is just continuing to show you a lot of what we're seeing here. It is incredible to look at this and just to have you have an understanding that we're watching down to the final wire here of what could happen with this election. And again, right now, that's what we're talking about. So let's just go back to real time right now. These are the real results that we're looking at. And right now, again, it's important that I emphasize the fact that the only media outlets that have called the state of Arizona are the Associated Press and Fox News. I do expect probably soon that we will see the rest of these media outlets like CNN call the state of Arizona for Biden. I think that's going to be the next state that's called, followed by that being the state of Nevada. Nevada could possibly be by tomorrow morning. I want to go back and look at North Carolina for a second because this is a very interesting situation right now. Trump just pulled ahead a little bit further there, so maybe my estimate of numbers is a little bit off, but it's still very close with basically a 2-point margin between the two. I think still I'm leaning in the direction that probably President Trump will take the state of North Carolina with him. I can't see him not taking it with the way the vote's going, and this is with 97% of the vote in. It's looking more and more likely that he probably will, but there are still enough votes out there that could flip. And again, we're going to watch that very, very closely to see exactly what happens. So we're going to watch that very closely. I just want to jump over here. I don't want to actually show this here. I'm going to just stop sharing my screen for a minute. One moment here. I'm being told that unmute my speaker. Okay. I hope people can hear me at home on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And that's why I'm just going to jump over there quickly here on the computer just so I can see what's going on. And bear with me for just a moment. And I'm going to show me, sorry, instead of you seeing my screen, which I'm concerned with right now that we're only seeing black here on our feed. Testing. Testing. All right. I'm hoping, well, let me try one other thing. I am hoping that on Hold on. Bear with me for a moment, folks. I am hoping we're not just showing a black screen here on. Okay. That's a relief to me here. I'm trying to jump around here. Why do I appear to be frozen on here on Facebook? That's not what I wanted to see. Okay. All right, we're not frozen on Facebook. Okay, and okay, so we do have audio over on Facebook. I'm going to try to monitor Facebook as well. Comment below here if you want to interact with me. I'm just posting that so people know that. Please comment below with your election questions and I will answer them here for you. I'm going to say the same thing here. Comment below with your election questions. I would love to answer them for you to the best of my ability. So please, if you have questions, feel free to ask them. Again, I'm going to just jump back here to looking at these maps here, and we're going to refresh our page here. And as of right now, there isn't much of a change. We're going to really closely be monitoring this throughout the evening and throughout really, I mean, we were on live yesterday, as you know, we were live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube yesterday in the evening. We have been live almost all day with you, every hour practically going live on Instagram. And now for the first time, we're actually live on all four of we are live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and now Instagram too, on a separate here way of doing this so that you're able to be, everyone can be part of this. I want, that's what my goal here is. And again, I think we're going to really soon see the state of Arizona be called, because those results are really escaping very far and far between for President Trump. I think that's going to be called soon. Let's look at the state of Georgia one more time here. And again, right now, Joe Biden is continuing to close in on Joe Biden. Joe Biden is continuing to close in on Vice President. I can speak here, folks. Yes, on President Trump's lead. I do want to pull this back up here on screen so you can see what I am looking at. So bear with me to get back to Zoom. Again, those that didn't know this, these lives are being done right now, exception for Instagram, obviously, is live via Zoom. So I'm going to share my screen one more time here so you can see here what I am looking at here. And again, this is the state of Georgia right now that we're looking at. We have a lot still that has to be looked at with, again, there is still 297,902 votes left to be counted. If we add those 297,000, I wish I could find my pen. This is going to drive me insane because I had a pen here and it has appeared to have vanished on my desk of stuff here. So I am. Oh, I found my pen, folks. Stand by. Got my pen. All right, so we can do our math yet again for you. My handy dandy notebook to do handy dandy math right here. Okay, so taking a look here at the state of Georgia, which has with Biden's 2,357,457 votes, 2,357,457. We minus that out from we add that rather to what is remaining of 297,384. And that would, let's say, so 7 plus 4 is 8, 9, 10, 11. 1 plus 5 is 6. 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 and 8 and 6 is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 1 plus 4 is 5, plus 3 is 8, 14. 9 is 10, plus 5 is 15. 1 and 3 is 4, plus 2 is 6. And now here, what we look at is Joe Biden at 2,654,000. And hold on, I'm getting a news alert here. here. Let me see this, what I'm looking at. Give me 1 second. Okay, I apologize. There is not any new information. I thought I was seeing some new information here. Okay, so with Joe Biden here, so if Joe Biden gets all of those remaining 297,384 votes, yes, that would put him over the top of President Trump. That absolutely does it. That would give him the state of Georgia. So there's many different combinations here that can be actually looked at. So again, I think there is a strong possibility. I'm not projecting it right now, but yes, I think there is a strong possibility that Joe Biden could take the state of Georgia too. Let me show you here. If you're watching on our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram and YouTube pages, you're able to actually see my actual screen right now. If you are watching this on if you're watching this on Instagram, it's going to be a little bit more challenging, but I'm going to show you again what I'm looking at so you can see. And this is what I'm looking at here. I know this is not as easy to see here because obviously I'm doing this here in a different fashionable way here, which is not easy. And I know it's not easy to see here on Instagram, and I apologize for that. But you can see here what I just did. I did my math here of taking Joe Biden's 2,357,774 votes, and I added the remaining 297,384 votes. That gave us to 2,654,841. So there is absolutely the possibility that Biden could carry the state of Georgia. It's absolutely possible. It's going to have to be closely watched, though, at this time. And we're really going to have to monitor that one. But again, we're now at 94% of the vote in. And those last votes, I can't say it enough, are the votes that are mail-in votes, that are votes that are predominantly Democratic votes. This is the NBC News map here, by the way. Let's do the same thing with Pennsylvania. In Pennsylvania, there are a remaining 1,045,584 votes. So I'm going to do the same thing here that I just did for the state of Georgia. And I'm going to do my handy-dandy math here on my notebook. Biden currently has, of those, he has 2,878,819 votes. So if I add to that, let's see what we get. This is how you know the state has not gotten away from the candidate. And that's the important thing here. So to really look at. So 9, 4 is 10, 11, 12, 13. 1 and 8 is 9, plus 1 is 10. 1 is 8 is 9, plus 5 is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 5 and 1 plus 5 is 6, plus 8 is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1 1 and 4 is 5, plus 8. I got to redo this because I think I am totally off here on my math. Bear with me for 1 moment here, folks. 1, 0, 4, 1, 0, 0. So 1,041,005 votes are what remain. And we have 2,882,177 that remain in Pennsylvania.
Here's what I found.
Jesus. So if we look at this, the state of Pennsylvania, and I add this 7 and 5 is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1 plus 7 is 8, 1. 1 and 2 is 3, 12. 1 plus 8 is 9. Okay. So Biden, if he ends up getting all of the votes that remain, and I think a good percentage of those votes could go to Biden in Pennsylvania, does that put him over the lead with President Trump for Pennsylvania? The answer to that is yes. Vice President Biden would have, if that's the case, and again, this is making your projection of that Joe Biden takes every single vote that's in Pennsylvania right now. and there's a very strong possibility he'll get a majority of those. That puts Joe Biden at 3,923,182 votes, whereas President Trump would be at only 3,148,000. He wouldn't change. It wouldn't change much, and Biden would take the state of Pennsylvania as well. So there's many different things here to watch for. I think we have a long more time to go. Pennsylvania, we will not have results officially until Friday at the earliest. I think we'll have an answer to this election probably earlier than later. Let's just do the same thing with North Carolina right now, because I think this is very interesting to watch right now. I think in North Carolina, and I'm just stating this out here, that I think it's more likely on the hood that President Trump will take the state of North Carolina right now. But let me just do some math here with you once again. Outstanding right now in the state of North Carolina are 292,412 votes. And we're going to add that to Joe Biden's 2,655,383. 2 and 3 is 5. 1 and 8 is 9. 4 and 3 is 12. 1 and 5 is 6 plus 2 is 8. 9 and 5 is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 1 and 2 is 3 plus 6 is 9 and 2. So Joe Biden, if he got all of the votes in that are right now coming in, the last of the votes that are coming in North Carolina with 95% of the vote, Joe Biden could take the state of North Carolina as well with 2,948,295. Is that likelihood that he's going to take all of those votes? No. But again, if he took the majority of those votes and President Trump didn't gain much votes, then yes, Joe Biden could win the state of North Carolina as well. So there's a lot to look at here. I think that's the very big part to this here, that there's a lot to that needs to be said. And it's important that we really examine this closely, what is left there to be. And I think from what we're seeing here, and you're looking at the map here, is that there's still a lot of uncertainty. Yes, but with that uncertainty, there's a lot more paths for Biden to win right now than there are for Trump. It's going to be a very tough challenge here. Now, we're saying that the race here in Alaska is too close to call. This really, I don't think, is too close to call. I think it's just because we don't have enough votes in yet. There's still a remaining 194,000 votes remaining. And technically saying, and again, I doubt this is going to flip, but let's do the same thing here in Alaska with 194, 969 plus Joe Biden's 56,849. Again, I don't think we're going to talk about Alaska being a Democratic state, but again, anything is possible. 9 and 9 is 18. 6 and 4 is 10 plus 1 is 11. 9 and 8 is 17 plus 1 is 18. But the 8 down carry the 1. 4 and 6 is 10 plus 1 is 11. 1 and 9 is 1 plus 9 is 10 plus 5 is 15. And 2. So that would put Joe Biden at 251,818 votes if he took the rest of the state of Alaska with him, which in that case, yes, would put Biden over the top for the state of Alaska. Do I think that's going to happen here in the state of Alaska? I really don't think so. And I say this because I think it's a very unlikelihood of a chance. And again, I also want to point out here that Alaska is a very slow state to count their votes. Right now, looking at this, and I'm just showing you, we're looking at, for example, the District 40 in Alaska. Right now, only 1.5% of the vote is in that area, so it's very slow. In District 37, only 3% of the vote is in. And these are all the Democratic thresholds that we're seeing right now. So this is very early. That's why the results are where they are at. The biggest results so far that we see here is in District 6. with 39.7% of the vote in, and Donald Trump has a significant lead there. Same thing in District 36, and same thing in District 35. District 36. In District 35, it's still very early here. And again, this is really mainly, this is not because it's too close to call. It's more on the end that their results are just coming in so slowly that we can't make a call when we don't have all of the figures just yet, but we project most likely that Arizona will remain a Republican red state for President Trump to win that. It's 3 electoral votes. So again, it's a very unlikelihood, but that would change, but that's just what we're seeing. And I just want to go back here and update on Arizona right now. And Joe Biden is continuing to extend on that lead. I really do believe from what we're seeing here that Vice President Biden will take the state of Arizona with him. I do want to also repeat here that, again, that we're going to be coming back on here live. Again, I don't know if it's going to be this method on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram all together. I usually probably will do one of the platforms this evening because but I do like the idea of being able to show you as well here on Cultural Connections our graphics that I have. So it's nice that I can do this. And I'm also interestingly getting alerts here. Sources are saying that Trump wants the Supreme Court to intervene in the election, but there's also experts say that that's not a good idea on his part because it really would be going against him, and it would really start a whole feud in this country if he did go with the legal part of the Supreme Court. And again, I think that's a doubtful situation here. I think, again, what we're looking at right now, and I think, again, maybe by tomorrow morning at the very latest, we will be seeing maybe a preliminary result in this election. So we're going to have to really continue to closely monitor this. But I think right now for Team Biden looks to be the predominantly successful situation in this race. Again, as I'm looking here, at Georgia, yet again, and now with 94% of the vote in, Joe Biden is continuing to close in on that lead with 48.8% of the vote. And we're seeing more of these counties going from red to blue. It is something really to watch closely here. And that's something we have seen with 99% of the vote in there. I mean, some of these counties are small counties, so it's important to understand the difference there. But again, some of these counties, and we're expecting to see more to switch. And that is huge here, especially around the Atlanta suburbs. I mean, yeah, I think we're going to start seeing more Democratic shifting here to the Democratic shift. So we're going to have to keep closely. That we're definitely going to have to keep it going here very close. Again, as I keep emphasizing to you enough, there are still more results to come in. So anything at all can happen. I am not by any means saying that Joe Biden has won the presidential election. And there's a tweet that just came out from the president. Let me pull that up. And for those that don't want to see the tweet, then do not look at your screen right now because I am showing you his tweet. And President Trump has just tweeted out as of 54 seconds ago, our lawyers have asked for a meeting. Let's just actually show the tweet. Our lawyers have asked for meaningful access, but what good does that do? The damage has already been done to the integrity of the system and to the presidential election. This is what should be discussed. I honestly don't know what that means. I'm not sure what his point to that tweet is. It's something, again, that we'll have to try to get some understanding on. But again, let's go back to the map here. That's what we really want to focus in on. And that is, sorry about that, our Instagram followers. We went out for a moment there. But this is the big part. This is what we're really, really trying to watch here of exactly what can we expect. And again, I think from what I'm seeing here, and I'm going to go back to Nevada right now. Nevada Vice President Biden has continued to extend his lead ever so slowly in the state of Nevada with 87.2% of the vote in. He is continuing to extend on that lead and put a further advancement on his lead. So it's something we're going to really closely be monitoring on that. And I think it's a very tattletale sign here of what's to come. Excuse me, I'm talking too much here and my mouth is very dry. from all the talking that I'm doing. So I'm going to stop all this talking now so I can catch my breath, get some water, because my mouth is very dry at the moment. But I do promise you, we are not done here yet. We will be back again live soon. How soon that'll be, I can't promise you, but it will be soon. That we're going to keep watching this here to you very closely, and we will continue to watch all of this very closely. So please stay with Cultural Connections for up-to-date information here on the election. For first off, we're going to end our live here on the Instagram, and then I'm going to go through and end the live on our Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube pages. So for those, again, tuning in, thank you for tuning in. We'll have another election update for you. It's 6:30 right now on the East Coast. I'm going to say maybe by 8 o'clock, and I can't promise you I'm going to go live on all of the platforms. I think I'm going to stick to Instagram this next time. But if we do go live on all of the platforms, you will know, you will be part of it on Instagram. I do promise that. So stay tuned. We'll have more election updates for you in the next few hours. Thank you, everyone, for watching. This has been a 2020 election update for Cultural Connections. I'm the producer, and I'm Brian Ives.
This is a special edition of the Cultural Connections podcast, the 2020 election. Join us this evening as we digest the election results, analyze the data, and make some bold predictions. This is the Cultural Connections podcast, 2020 election edition.